All right, and down here in the bottom left of Daybreak is our Terran player, who again is probably the favorite in this matchup because he has played so strong in the past. It is Startail's Bomber. And up here on the top right is his opponent, very strong old school Terran player. Actually played Protoss and Brood War, but here he is playing Terran now in Starcraft 2. It is Hope Torture, aka Into the Rainbow. Alright, so remember, ladies and gentlemen, everything is on the line here. It would be a real surprise to see Bomber go down to Code B. It would actually be a little ridiculous. This guy is so good. I mean, this is a guy who has played at the top levels, who's beaten the best players. He's gone toe-to-toe with all of them and has been just so strong in the past. To see Bomber go down to Code B would be pretty crazy. Because Code B, even the best players have a hard time getting out of Code B. You have to win so many games in a row, so many matches in a row against a lot of crazy players, and you know, you never know what to expect in Code B either, because you don't know the players necessarily very well, and even the best players, even someone like Bomber, could get caught off guard by some kind of crazy strategy that they just did not expect. So yeah, so it's really tough. Hope Torture has just come out of Code B. You know, he played through the Code B tournament and the qualifiers to get into Code A. So he does not want to get out now that he's finally accomplished that. It's been several months since Hope Torture was in the GSL, so this is his shot at getting back in it. And basically proving to everyone that he's not just washed up, that he's not just a relic, that his mechanics can keep up with the new school as well. First Marine coming out for Hope Torture is going to guard that ramp. Checking around, where'd that SCV go? Where is it? Not there, good. And he's probably going to just chill here. Wait, is he? Yep, he's going to chill here and try and block any SCVs from getting into his base to scout. And Bomber has gone for, looks like, 1 racks into Command Center. Very gutsy build. Well, actually not that gutsy on Daybreak. Probably going to see, yep, same thing actually for Hope Torture. Of course, his command center is up on the high ground, so it's going to be much more difficult to protect for Bomber's base. It's going to be more difficult for Bomber to protect his base because it's on the low ground. Hope Torture can just hold his ramp still until he's finished with that and then float it down. And he is going ahead and getting a Reaper out as well. And is he going to go ahead and scout with it this time? No, he's not going to scout with it this time. It's a little curious that he made the Reaper and decided just to have it there as the defensive Reaper in case of enemy Reaper, I guess. And, you know, often you'll see players do that. They'll camp their Reaper on the high ground where they expect enemy Reapers to come in, because then when the enemy Reapers come in, they can actually get an extra shot off. And I guess Hope Torture decides it's time to actually use this Reaper after all. He's going to go out on the map. He might be waiting for a certain timing as well. He might know that, alright, well, if I wait till a certain time, then I'll be able to spot if he's doing this build or that build or anything like that. Factory now going up for Bomber. Of course, after getting that expansion up, he did get 2 gases down and immediately was able to start teching up. He's going to get that factory. And here comes that Reaper. And it's going to go ahead and just see that bunker and chicken out. Is he going to be able to hop up into the main here? Yes, he is. And Bomber doesn't have anything back here, actually. He might lose some SCVs. And does take out... Oh, not going to get the second SCV. Accidentally takes a pot shot at the refinery. Marine chases him down. Only 1 kill for that Reaper. When one of the SCVs was very close to death. Wait, did it die? Yeah, I think maybe it did die, actually. Must have got 1 less shot off on that SCV. I missed it. Bomber's going to need to put a couple more SCVs back in the gas, since he did pick off the gas workers there. Starport going up for Bomber. Will this be the first game we don't see Banshees? Will he just switch directly into medevac production? We're going to see. And now Hope Torture getting his expansion up, but as you can see, his expansion up is way later than Bomber's. They are going to be about even in income right now, but Bomber's been able to get a little bit more money off that expansion than Hope Torture has. And never mind, we are going to see Banshees after all. Cloak and Banshee being upgraded here for Bomber. Excuse me. And Hope Torture going in for a little bit of a prod with these Marines. Of course, depending on the kind of prod, it can be very, very bad. You can get prodded to death if you could fall off the cliff in Worm's Armageddon. Or I guess if it was like a cattle prod, then it might hurt really badly. But there's a bunker. Is he going to try and go around the bunker? Oh no! I'm not sure exactly what Hope Torture hopes to accomplish here. He loses a couple Marines going in behind here. And as a result, he actually has less Marines. He does have the stim upgrade though, which Bomber doesn't. But the firepower Bomber is just too much. He had too many Marines there. He pulled the one out of the bunker there. And he's like, alright, well, you know what? I don't need this bunker anymore. I just killed all your Marines. Gonna go ahead and salvage that. Use it for something more useful, like Banshees. Actually did wait. I think I missed it, but I believe he must have canceled Cloak and canceled the Banshee or something like that. Maybe when he saw those Marines entering the front door. Because I don't see a Banshee on the map. And he wouldn't have... Yeah, unless he just lost it. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, he's just switching over. He's going to make a medevac instead and use that tech lab for another factory so he can gut out a lot more siege tanks. So very interesting there by Bomber, deciding not to go for the Banshee after all. Not sure exactly what led him to that decision to not go for the Banshee, but I don't know. Maybe did he? No, he didn't scan and see turrets or anything like that. Okay, well, that's alright. If that's what Bomber wants to do, that's what he can do. He does have a pretty good advantage now, though. He did, well, not a big advantage, but taking out those Marines was big. As you can see here in the unit tab, Bomber is still behind the Marines, but that's because Hope Torture is not producing as many of the other units. Bomber has a couple siege tanks in play already, whereas Hope Torture is just building his first one. Moving on the map here, Bomber's going to have stim now. Hope Torture was trying to go for a little bit of an attack where he had stim and Bomber didn't. And you need to be so careful about getting your medevacs out in front of your units like that. You need to be really careful about that. There we go, Hope Torture rejoining those medevacs with his Marines. But yeah, he didn't really make use of that stim timing because he just had less Marines. And that bunker there, of course, helped Bomber as well. If he didn't have that bunker, Bomber would have probably just lost that battle and lost a lot of SCVs. So smart move by him getting that bunker. And it looks like both players just posturing around the map here. Bomber wants to just retake that tower. My watchtower. Give it to me. And actually does that? Yes, it does. Wasn't sure if he was close enough to the tower to take it. Hope Torture holding his tower as well. Now this is interesting. Hope Torture, okay, now he's finally getting this going. Okay, a couple more another factory going down, a couple more barracks. Hope Torture really starting to macro up. And he's going to try and take a third. This is a crucial point for Bomber. Bomber is got the siege tech. He's got more Marines basically. Combat shields is about to complete, and he's going to have +1 weapons in a moment as well. This is the point where he needs to take out this third base before he can get mining again. He stims in, but there's some Marines there as well. Siege tank doing massive damage, but Bomber manages to take that out, and Hope Torture might be able to defend this. But is he going to lose his command center? It's down to 7 hit points, 1 hit point, 0 hit points. And loses his brand new command center, and that is exactly the timing I was talking about by Bomber. Getting in there exactly when the expansion was going to go up and taking it out. Beautiful move, because that's going to be the point where you have a little bit more units than your opponent, because you've been spending money on units and he's been spending money on that building. And so, you know, you're a little bit ahead. Oh no, he doesn't have the vision, so Bomber is able to sneak in here, and he stims up the ramp. Is it going to be enough? This might be the end of Hope Torture. He's been out of GSL for months. Will he be eliminated again right here and now? He says not yet. He's going to try and drop on these tanks. Oh, nice little drop. But yeah, he's actually getting some splash damage, picking him up, dropping him out again. This is a desperation move for Hope Torture, though. His buildings are under siege now. He's got barely any units on the map at this point. Just a handful of Marines and a few medevacs. He's desperately trying to hold out long enough to hold this off, so he can try some kind of counterattack. He is trying to he's going to stim in here and get this Marines, a few Marines. And that one Marine gets out with some siege tank fire hot on his heels, literally. But this is such a desperate situation for Hope Torture. He is on the verge of elimination right now. Bomber looked like he might be eliminated actually before, which would have been a real shock, but here he is about to secure his spot in the next round of Code A. Is Hope Torture doing anything to deal with this? He can't do any drops or anything. He's having to rebuild his factory so he can make more siege tanks. Does he have any? He does have one factory, so if he can get a couple siege tanks in good positions, he might be able to defend, but it is really not looking good for Hope Torture at all. And of course, Bomber intelligently is going to go ahead and take a third in the midst of all this while he keeps up this contain, and actually he's going to leave instead of pushing his advantage, which I find really, really puzzling, because he's got 12 siege tanks to 2 for Hope Torture, now 14. So he just had such a huge advantage. He probably could have just killed Hope Torture right there. But you know what? When you're ahead, get more ahead, right? You don't have to kill him. I'm a little surprised he gave up his contain, though. That he didn't try and keep that contain up and try and start shelling some more buildings or what have you. Because it's not too big of a deal to keep up your contain when you have siege tanks. It's not that difficult to keep that up. But Bomber's almost maxed is the other thing. Hope Torture again with a little bit better upgrades though. But actually Bomber has the tank upgrades going pretty strong, whereas Hope Torture does not have any tank upgrades. So +1 tank weapons is going to be able to enable to them to do so much more damage. Hope Torture has moved some of his units out to the side here. He's going to try and snipe Bomber's third base, but Bomber has some units over here. It is not undefended. Hope Torture just kind of going around the top here, seeing if there's a fourth that he needs to kill off. Nothing there, and this is just looking really bad for Hope Torture. Bomber getting +3 weapons and +2 armor now for his Marines. Here comes that little attack from Hope Torture. He stims in, 2-2 completes, and he's going in with that 2-2 and dives onto some siege tank shells. And oh no, this army is toast. Look at the minimap. Blue converging on those Marines from all sides. They're going to go down so quickly. And the medevac's barely going to get out alive, but you know what? A medevac is only as good as the army it heals. And if you don't have an army with you, it's not going to do too much good to have those medevacs floating in the top corner there. Oh, is he going to see it? Is he going to see it? Nope, he's actually flying away from those medevacs. And he's not going to get his chance to pop them out of the sky. But it doesn't even matter. Bomber with a maxed army is holding position outside of Hope Torture's base, but he's not actually holding position. He's still moving around. I'm not exactly sure why Bomber isn't just going for the kill, to be honest with you. He has the ability to. He's just, I guess maybe wants to secure more of an advantage just in case by some miracle Hope Torture holds it off. He'll have 5 bases instead of 3 to fall back to. 6 bases, 7, oh my gosh, just mass command centers here. And yeah, Hope Torture is in real trouble here. I don't know if there's any way Hope Torture can come back from this. He's only at 150 supply to the 200, almost a Bomber. And if he maybe catches Bomber unsieged with his own tank sieged up, he might be able to do some good. Hope Torture pushing out here, but Bomber slow sieging in here, leapfrogging them forward. He stims all of his Marines in, a little bit better concave for Hope Torture, but Bomber has so many siege tanks in the back that every single Marine of Hope Torture's dies, and Bomber could theoretically even just unsiege an A move and take out most of these tanks right now. Again, he wants to play it a little bit safe, you know, make sure his 5 bases kick in, trying producing everything as quickly as possible, getting his Marines joined up with that army again. They all stemmed for some reason. Maybe he had them grouped up when he stemmed his whole army for that attack. And here's a medevac drop. Oh, nope. Marines are there a little bit too early. Otherwise, he was going to try and drop Marines on top of those tanks. That would have been clever. Would have done some damage, but it's not going to happen this time. Bomber is now mining at 3 extra bases. His natural is pretty much mined out, but he's mining at the 3rd, at the 4th, and now at his 5th over here a little bit as well. Whereas Hope Torture, this is all he's got. He's got Only a handful of patches left, and some of them are going to be mined out very, very soon. Actually, all these patches are going to be mined out in the next couple minutes. So this is just horrible for Hope Torture. He's got nowhere to go. He's just desperately trying to take this third again in order to mine from that. But Bomber is so far ahead right now. It is just ridiculous. And look at this. Hope Torture, look at this nice red line. Look at this. Beautiful position. Beautiful position to hold off an attack from this ramp. And where is Bomber going? He's going from the other side. Hope Torture completely out of position for an attack from this angle. Is going to be forced back here. He's pulling his tanks back up here, but look at the tank count. It is 12 tanks to 9. That's actually not too bad, but 72 Marines to 16. Bomber going in with all of his Marines here. This could be the killing blow. Marines going to work on everything, and they are just slaughtering everything Hope Torture has. He can't bring his siege tanks in because they'll take fire from Bomber's siege tanks, and Bomber with a maxed army against Hope Torture's dive bombing 60 supply is going to take game number 3. Bomber is not going to be eliminated from GSL just yet. The star of the past is going to take game 3. GG coming from Hope Torture. And Bomber advances to the round of 36. Bomber will stay alive, and Hope Torture will unfortunately have to try and qualify through Code B again if he wants to participate in the GSL in the future. So that is going to do it for today's matches on this stream. I'm actually not certain. I'm going to have to go and double check actually to see if Wolf and Doa are still casting on the other stream right now. But just to give a little bit of a recap here, we did have, you can see our matches here on the screen right now. We had Supernova versus Vines, Monster versus Juke 2, Xeno versus Mojuk, and Bomber versus Hope Torture. And pretty much the favorites won in every situation. We had Supernova, by far better player and by far the more accomplished player. He did manage to beat Vines, his teammate, pretty handily in the first set. In the second set, we did have Monster, very strong Zerg player, beat Juke 2. And Juke 2's been eliminated from Code A. Xenio beat Mujuk, Mujuk's first time in Code A, and he was not able to get past the first round. And then, of course, Bomber beating Hope Torture as well. So the more veteran players, basically, StarCraft 2 veterans at least, winning out in all situations in the games today. So no terrible surprises there, and those players are all going to advance to the next round. Of course, there is a couple rounds yet. They have to advance even further to get into the Code S qualifications or in the up and down matches. So the journey's not over yet for our Code A players that have won today's games. I'm just trying to find out right now. It looks like we are still live, I believe. So, of course, you can probably check it out even faster than I am. But make sure to go out. Yes, it looks like Wolf and Doe are still casting over on the other stream. So make sure you go check them out as well. I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for me here. Hope you guys enjoy these games very much. If you want to let me know what you thought, you can tweet at me at Moletrap and let me know what you thought. And I will catch you next time. Make sure to tune in to Wolf and Doe on the other stream. And of course, Codas is going to be back tomorrow. And that should be fun. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap up now. Take care. Thanks very much for watching the GSL Code A.